My name is Matthew McCack, and I'm here with my brother, Justin Maycack.
Hey, everybody.
This is Room 51, where we talk all things board gaming, and today we're coming at you with a roll for thought, which we have not done in quite a while.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Yeah,
Holy crap.
We were thinking about this. We were saying, like, Room 51 was pretty much built on roll for thought.
Yeah.
And we're looking back at it. And we haven't done one in, months, I think.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I feel like it's been at least half a year. Minimum.
It has to be, yeah.
Right?
For those of you who have never seen any videos from Room 51, first of all, welcome.
Yeah,
but second of all, Roll for Thought is just where we have some sort of topic in the board gaming universe that we talk about to our heart's content. Yeah. And then we also have you join in on the conversation by, putting your comments down below. Yeah. Talk to us on Facebook, whatever it is.
Whatever you feel like doing.
Whatever you feel like doing. And I just want to take this moment because as a YouTuber, we are supposed to do this. Make sure if you like this video to click that like button. If you don't like this video, please click that dislike button. And consider subscribing to our channel. Just click all the freaking buttons on your screen, except for the X button. Do not kill your browser.
So before people turn us off, I think like this is just a promotion video for Room 51. A poorly done one. What is the topic today, Matthew?
Oh, what do you mean by poorly done? But second of all, the topic is Quacks of Quedlinburg. Is it a strategy game? And Justin, I should probably say why. Why are we talking about this?
Yeah, why are we talking about this?
Why are we talking about this, Matthew? Well, I'll tell you, Justin. So the Dice Tower. I am on the Dice Tower. It's another fantastic YouTube channel that you could go ahead and check out if you have not already done so. Although I'm shocked if you came across this video before coming across the Dice Tower videos. But they just did their 12 gifts of Christmas. Something like that.
Yeah.
And they come out with a whole bunch of lists, and one of the lists is strategy games. And little old me decided to talk about Quacks of Quedlinburg.
Well, was it your decision?
Okay, so that's something that I wasn't going to bring up. But
I'm sorry. No,
it's fine. Like, just so people are aware, I did not come up with these lists. Like, nobody who spoke about the games actually came up with the games that would be on the list, except for the core Dice Tower people. I don't know who came up with the list, actually. I would imagine it was like Tom, Z.
Is that something you're allowed to talk about? Is this like inside scoop? You didn't get to talk.
I don't know. Tom, please don't fire me. But in either case, I mean, I didn't see anything wrong with any of the lists.
Sure.
And I then chose what I wanted to talk about on each of the lists. So I decided to talk about Quacks of Quedlinburg because I really like that game, and it just so happened to be on the strategy list, which I didn't think anything of. But a lot of people, and by a lot, I mean like 3 commenters, which is a lot for me. I felt personally attacked. Okay. But somebody said, Matthew tends to have questionable choices. And I'm like, you're right. But
that's a little far, though, even with this one, in my opinion. I guess the whole tends to have questionable choices. It's kind of, A, it's funny because, hey, that wasn't even your choice. B, what other choices are they referring to? You do teach the teach. And
I do teach the teach.
The board game breakfast segment of Smashing Buttons, Slamming Cards, where, so you either are teaching how to teach a game, or you are comparing a board game to a video game.
Yeah, or I don't like to say compare, I'm connecting them.
Connecting, right. You're connecting a board game to a video game. Sometimes maybe you stretch the limits there, but how questionable do you really get in either of those videos?
I don't know, man. I wanted to speak to this person. I want to be like, but like, what do you mean?
Honestly, it might be someone though that actually really likes your content stuff, and they feel like, yeah, sometimes you push the bar a little bit with your stuff. They might have meant it in a good way.
They might have, and in which case, thank you.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. That would be pretty cool.
But essentially, the topic is Quacks of Quedlinburg a strategy game?
Yeah.
Justin, let's start off with your thoughts, and because we actually spoke about this off camera first, because I was a little tilted, not gonna lie. I saw the comments and I was like, all right, like, people chill out. But yes, go ahead.
So just with the question, is Quacks of Quedlinburg a strategy game? And I take that almost out of context of the Dice Tower 12 Days of Christmas, and I'll explain why I'm taking it out of context later on. So is Quacks of Quedlinburg a strategy game? My answer to that is sure. If you want to say it's a strategy game, by all means do. But if you ask me, hey, Justin, start naming some strategy games, there's pretty much no way Quacks of Quedlinburg is draws in my mind. Because in my head, a strategy game, I'm immediately thinking of the games that you're really thinking of the game as a whole. You're really trying to think, all right, this is what I'm going to try to do this game. It actually doesn't even have too much to do with limitation of luck and whatnot, because that to me starts to go into, well, all right, is it a Euro or Ameritrash or a war game or whatever? I think all three of those genres can be strategy games. I think I would consider Twilight Imperium 4, yeah, that's a strategy game to me. And just as much as I consider chess a strategy game, obviously they both have totally different forms of luck and whatnot, but they're both strategy games. Quacks of Quedlinburg, on the other hand, when I sit down to play it, I'm definitely not thinking of the overarching game, thinking like, okay, this is what I'm going for this game. There's definitely strategic decisions, but I really just view that as tactics and whatnot that occur. So it doesn't really cross my mind as, yeah, that is a strategy game, though there is a level of strategy in there for sure.
Okay. And for those who are not familiar with Quacks of Quedlinburg, by the way, It is a push your luck style game, but it's also a bag building game.
Yeah.
Okay. So if it was a pure push your luck game, would I call it a strategy game? No. But there is bag building in this game. You are picking ingredients to place into your bag. And then the push your luck element comes into play. And I would say that the push your luck element is kind of minimal a little bit, especially later on in the game where you've really built up your bag, right? You've built up your engine. Because the way you're pushing your luck in this game, your potion could explode, possibly.
Right.
But when it explodes, the deficit to you isn't that bad, as in most push your luck games where it's like, oh, you've gone too far, you've lost everything, right?
Yeah.
Quacks isn't like that. It's like, no, you still get something. Like you could get points or you could get buying power. You don't get to roll that die or whatever that gives you some extra bonus benefit thing.
It's more beneficial to not.
Yes.
But it's not like you did not waste the round.
Right.
In other push your luck, you pretty much wasted your round of going.
Yes, you because it's like all or nothing, baby, but it's not like that in Quacks. And so I looked up on Board Game Geek, what is a strategy game?
Okay, hit me with it.
And it says, a strategy game is a game in which the player's decision-making skills have a high significance in determining the outcome. In that one sentence, I would view that as an advanced strategy game, right? Because that's one thing to think about too. The Dice Tower comes out with two lists, strategy game and advanced strategy game.
Right. Okay. I was taking out of context of that, but okay. Yeah, that is true. Advanced strategy game and strategy game. Okay.
Now, it then continues though. Strategy games often require decision tree analysis or probabilistic estimation in the case of games with chance elements. Which
I do agree. Chance 10. Absolutely.
Quacks of Quedlinburg, baby.
That's why I said I'm not against you if you're saying Quacks of Quedlinburg is a strategy game. But when you sit down to play Quacks of Quedlinburg, Matthew, do you feel like you are being strategic? Is that what comes to mind when you're playing? When somebody says Quacks of Quedlinburg, are you thinking to yourself, I'm down for a strategy game right now? Is that what you're thinking to yourself?
I mean, I never think that to
I'm down for a strategy game.
But I'm like, yeah, I'm down for a game, But no, I definitely, when I sit down to play Quacks of Quedlinburg, the first thing I'm not thinking in terms of like push your luck. Honestly, that's not even the first notion that's coming to my mind. My mind is going straight towards, okay, what combos can I make?
Sure. I'm not against you saying that. Like, I do
Which is
like
strategy,
reading
by the way.
through. I do like reading through and seeing like, oh, okay, I could start considering going for these different things, right? But I just doodled the definition of strategy. All I did was doodle the definition of strategy. And
We're
the
not talking about
lines,
strategy, okay? We're talking about board game strategy.
so with strategy, it says a plan of action or policy designed to achieve a major or overall aim. And that's the piece that I think of when it comes to strategy that I don't feel in Quacks of Quedlinburg. I think you can have it. I just know when I play, I don't think of this overall thing. I more think of, okay, this is what I have in my bag. I'm going to try to keep pulling, and I'll stop around here and stop pushing my left at this certain point. And then and then at the end of the round, I'll kind of consider, okay, these are the things that would go really good in my bag. It's more like I keep playing the round as the round comes to me.
How often have you won?
I believe I've won at least once. If not, I came in a close second at least once.
So would you say that you're like really good at Quacks of Quedlinburg?
I definitely have not played it enough to know if I'm really good at it, but I would say I'm one of the best players I know. Would I even say I'm good at Quacks of Quedlinburg? I don't know.
I think
with that lack of strategy, I definitely don't feel like I'm that good at the game. Sure.
I think that somebody who's coming in with a legitimate strategy for an overall aim, because they see which ingredients are out, they see which combos they want to get, they will win against somebody who thinks that they are not playing a strategy game and they're pretty much just playing this willy-nilly push your luck game.
I didn't say willy-nilly. I'm playing the round as the round comes to me. All right. To give a little bit of a chess example here.
Chess is not a strategy game.
So in chess, you can have this very overall strategy, this overall aim that you're trying to achieve. I mean, obviously, you're always trying to achieve a checkmate. And however that can be done. But throughout the game, you will have different overall goals that you're going to have to try to achieve. And it's going to take you multiple turns to try to achieve that goal, right? And I almost view that as the round. And so in chess, I'm thinking multiple rounds ahead. In Quacks of Quedlinburg, I'm not thinking past the current round almost. And that's
on you.
Sure.
I'm thinking about the round ahead of me. I'm thinking about the ultimate goal of what I want to achieve.
How often have you won, Matthew?
I don't think I've ever won, but that doesn't mean anything because I tend to not win board games anyway.
All right, just since you asked me the question, I was curious.
I might have won once or twice or something. I don't know.
If a board pretends a somebody that you know is a hobby board gamer came up to you though and said, "I'm in the mood for a strategy game right now,"
I would ask them what kind of strategy game.
And they said, just one, that I'm thinking multiple rounds ahead. I don't know. I just want something that feels strategic. Are you thinking? They're like, just throw games at me that really make you feel strategic. Are you thinking Quacks of Quedlinburg?
I mean, I don't know. That's a weird question because if they can't narrow it down for me, I would think like, oh, this person's new to the hobby, in which case I might actually say, hey, Quacks.
No, they're not new to the hobby. All right.
Then they should be able to explain to me what they want. Do you want a Euro game? Do you want a war game? Like,
I'm just looking for new strategic games.
No.
Are you serious? Really? Nothing.
You think?
Okay, yeah.
That
they want a midweight strategy game, I would consider, or light to midweight strategy game.
Light to midweight?
Light to midweight. I'm already thinking like Small World. Things like that.
Small World, okay, sure. Yeah,
so are you
Small World.
Quacks of Quedlinburg. It's Quacks.
Yeah, I would think of Quacks of Quedlinburg.
Really?
I would have, yeah.
I would think of Catan before Quacks when I hear the word strategic.
You would say Catan is strategic, but not Quacks of Quedlinburg.
Yeah, because I do sometimes think multiple rounds ahead into time.
Okay, but you know what? I don't even think that you have to necessarily think multiple rounds ahead. I don't think multiple rounds ahead in Twilight Imperium 4.
Shows.
I know. But it doesn't mean that I'm not playing a strategy game.
I see what you're saying, but
Even something like Pandemic, I don't know what card is going to come out next.
But you do think multiple rounds ahead in Pandemic.
But you could think multiple rounds ahead in Quacks.
But you do, not you could, you do it in Pandemic. Pandemic does feel strategic in that way, where you almost
I
want
don't
to.
think multiple rounds ahead in chess because I don't know what the heck I'm doing.
All right, I see what
am
you're
I not
saying.
playing a strategy game?
It is personal for me not thinking multiple rounds ahead in Quacks. I guess for me, Quacks it's a fairly quirky game. It's a fairly quirky game, and the strategy just gets overshadowed by it. I'm not saying that there's no strategy in Quacks. It's more there's just other things within Quacks that overshadows the strategy of Quacks, and it makes it this more fun, more lighthearted game to me as well. And that's really why I'm not thinking of. I don't think you're wrong for saying, hey, Quacks is a strategy game. I don't think you're wrong for saying that. I just don't. I don't personally think, oh, strategy games, I'm putting Quacks on that list. That's not where it's fallen under for me.
Well, just because it's lighthearted doesn't mean it can't be a strategy game.
I will say the more lighthearted the game is, the less likely I'm going to think of it as a strategy game.
Yeah, I mean,
I will say that actually, not that it's a good reason, but it probably does have an impact. Like a family game. I understand. I mean, a lot of people call it a family game. I don't immediately think family game. I don't know if I would have immediately thought family game, but because I know so many people consider it a family game, I now consider it a family game. I don't know if that makes sense.
Which game?
Quacks.
Oh.
Yeah, Quacks.
I don't consider it a family game.
I don't think I ever would have, but many people did.
There's no way I'd be able to play that with like my mother and father.
I don't think so. You're probably right about that.
There's no way. People who are like not really into games, but like kinda like maybe like they play Uno, whatever. Like I would have played Quacks of Quedlinburg with them. I think it's actually a little too much.
That's fair. All right.
I think it has that Seven Wonders problem.
Yeah, I think it has the Seven Wonders problem as well. If you don't know card drafting, Seven Wonders is a gateway card drafting game, not a gateway game, in my opinion. Yes. You know?
Yeah.
I agree with that actually a lot. I will give you this, because you mentioned about how Dice Tower did separate it. They said strategy games and advanced strategy games. If I saw those two lists and I saw somebody put Quacks on the strategy games, I would understand it. Now, there was another thing I said, I'm taking out of contents of the Dice Tower. I'm now going to bring it back into contents of the Dice Tower, because I totally get also why the Dice Tower did it. I think it was really smart of them. People are going to be looking up board games to get people for gifts for the holidays. And that's awesome. And when they stumble upon that strategy list, I don't think they're hearing the word strategy the way we are. They're more hearing the way we think of, like, you know, a hobby game. And I actually witnessed it recently. I was texting someone and I was talking to them a bit about, oh yeah, I'm into board gaming. I'm a hobby board gamer. And they asked me, oh, what are some good strategy games? And really, to me, what I interpreted that as, they're really just asking, what are some good games? What are some hobby games that aren't like Monopoly and stuff that require just solely luck, essentially. And I think that's why the Dice Tower named it strategy. That's what people are thinking of, because yes, it does. No matter, Quacks of Quedlinburg 100% does require tactical thinking. It requires some level of strategy. It requires thought, and the better player is going to win in most cases, at least. So, I think that the word strategy just turns into encompassing that. So yeah, I totally get the Dice Tower.
I think that's a whole separate argument as to why it showed up on the list. Like, people tend to forget, I think, like, who the dice tower is actually for.
Yes.
You know, like it's a welcoming channel. It's a channel that welcomes people into the hobby. Is Room
Yeah.
51 that channel? I don't think so. I don't think we talk very like card drafting, blah, 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 but we don't explain what card drafting
Yeah.
is.
We don't really go into it.
Dice Tower always does that. But I didn't I just was like, but even without all of that,
Sure.
I think Quacks of Quedlinburg is a strategy game. Whoever disagrees with me is wrong. Clearly.
I semi-disagree. I semi-agree, semi-disagree.
I've given great commentary as to why
Absolutely.
I am right and always am right.
100%.
Champions of Midgard, it's like, oh, as long as it has worker placement, Stone Age, you know, I mean.
Maybe that's it. Maybe Quacks just doesn't have enough Euro aspects. I don't know.
I honestly don't know. But then some people were complaining, saying like, where are the war games? And it's like, war games have tons of rolling of dice.
Yeah.
All the time.
But I do think there were strategy games.
I think there's strategy games too.
Yeah. I don't think that Quacks, that's the knock because it's a push your luck. I don't think that's the knock because of that. It's just not.
Why? Because it's
strategy. Light? It's just not the strategy, just not the thing that jumps to mind when I think
I don't know. I don't get it. I mean, because tactical games can be strategic.
Mm-hmm.
Viticulture is a tactical game.
Yeah. To an extent. Again, you're planning out multiple rounds sometimes.
It's tactical, baby.
Sometimes.
Let's ask the Stegs.
That's the Stegs?
The Stegs. Jamie Stegmeyer, baby. Stonemeyer Games.
Right.
I think we could both agree that I was right.
100%. I mean, one thing that I do definitely agree with, I think you deserve the hate comments, and I think it's a long time coming.
I think that a long time coming. No, it's been coming, and honestly, I quite enjoy it.
I thought you would.
I love it when people yell at me on the internet.
Who doesn't? Who doesn't?
It's really, really fun. But yeah. So what do you all think? Is Quacks of Quedlinburg a strategy game? Go ahead, continue yelling at me.
Yeah, flip out on me.
Just flip out on me. Or agree with me. You know, that's a possibility too. Maybe.
We'll see. We'll consider it.
But otherwise, catch us on twitch.tv/room51 live, where we stream all things board gaming every Wednesday at 8 p.m. EST, usually. But we tend to let people know if we're not going to be live. You can also follow us We do. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, all at This Is Room 51. We'll catch you next time.
See you, everybody.
See you, everybody.